Hey, how's it going? What's up? Hi. Hi, how are you? Good to see you there. What brings you here? Why the fuck are you hiding underneath my steering wheel, you weirdo? What are you doing? What's up? What's up, bros? What's up, bros and chicks? Or whatever? How's everybody doing? I like chocolate. Really, chocolate's really hard to. I mean, you can't really manufacture. You can pretty much manufacture in like Africa or South America. How you doing? How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hello and welcome to. What is this? How are you doing? Thank you for coming to my stream. We're going to the store to get the cerveza. Yo, 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 yo. Fuck, man. Socks untied? Ha, joke's on you, fuckface. I don't wear any. I don't have any fucking socks on. Haha. You thought you were gonna get me, didn't you? Little did you know that I'm not wearing anything below my shirt. I know, I fucking ran out of molasses beer, man. I drank it all. I'm actually, you caught me. I'm going to the store to get beer. I had a good day. It was a long. Got the fucking. I pulled so much garlic today. I pulled like, I don't know how, I don't even count it. It's gonna be, I don't know, next year. I'm just getting a sixer. I usually just get a sixer. I get some IPA or some pale ale. I was thinking about swinging by the P.O. box. I haven't been there in like weeks. I was thinking about just swinging by the P.O. box, see if there's any weird shit in there. Are you guys tracking how much the government is shifting to like fucking fix China? You guys tracking that shit? I'm not gonna drink 6 IPAs in one night. I'll probably drink like 3 at most. If I even am still awake by the time I get that far. What's the matter? What the fuck are you talking about? If I look like it's because I'm like driving into the sun with a phone. Yeah, I mean it's so obvious, right? Dark was talking about the China, how obvious the China shit is. Although it's not obvious. Although I have a really difficult time. I'm sure that I'd imagine that a vast majority of the people I read on Twitter are legit, but like I can tell you right now that a lot of these media accounts that I'm reading that are talking about this stuff fucking know exactly what's going on. Like, I'm telling you, man. Like who was I was reading like multiple people. I just started leaving like fucking smart-ass comments spilling the fucking beans. Like whenever I see an article like that, or somebody like making a little snide Twitter comment to goad the fucking world into a world war. The people that do that, they fucking know what's going on. Like if they're retard. But the innocent pundits, they like, I'm not talking Don Lemon and shit like that. I'm talking about like people that, you know, are like the hipsters of fucking international news. That basically like coming out of the woodwork out of fucking nowhere and just start writing shit like they're, you know, incredible or something. They write shit, and then you can just tell it's like what was the example? There's some guy Jacobson. I was reading some guy's post Jacobson, and he was like talking about DC and Puerto Rico getting added as states, and then he retweeted with a comment, somebody's comment, you know, some poor idiot's comment that was like, they just want to do it to, you know, get Democratic Senate seats. I think it was actually a senator that was writing that. They just want to do it to get fucking Democratic Senate seats, and then the guy, like, he writes back like, Puerto Rico has like a sitting Republican. It's just like, I can read it. I mean, like, it probably seems pretty vague to somebody that was reading it. They'd be like, how could you pull anything out of that? When I fucking read that shit, like, I can tell the motherfucker knows what's going on. He's egging on the false paradigm, because they have to have the fucking, like, they need the right-left false paradigm in full fucking, you know, full reciprocal force against one another, so that there's no awareness or opportunity to become suspicious, because you're too pissed off and you're rooting too hard for your team. You know what I mean? And so these guys that are doing that like really don't have even a place in giving anybody any kind of advice or news media information. They just do it on their own accord. They're like somewhat obscure, I would say. They fucking know what's going on. And that's why topically, you have to look at what they say. And topically, it's not like they're going from talking about a fucking deviled eggs recipe to like talking about, you know, inflaming tension in the false paradigm. It's the only thing that they do. And it's always topically related exactly to whatever the MSM flavor of the week is. They all have a fucking, they must have white papers that they pass around. It would be the shit if somebody could like infiltrate. I would assume it's probably at the top level, you know, like probably like the ownership level, and probably at the U.S. Agency for Global Media, I would guess, somewhere in there. Probably the CFR. They're probably passing around like white papers or something. They probably have a contact list. They probably have like a contact executive list where they pass around shit in a private capacity so that it's not public. You know what I mean? Because they don't. It would be pretty awkward if the general public figured out that there were white papers going around telling people what to say, or like general positions, right? They probably make it so vague. They probably make it so fucking vague that it doesn't appear like a directive. It just appears like they're saying it's a good idea. Yeah, Israel's going to continue to annex the West Bank. I mean, you do understand that Israel's going to take from they're going to take from the Nile to the Euphrates. You understand that, right? So they're going to be absorbing portions of Egypt. They're going to be absorbing a portion of Syria. They're going to be absorbing Jordan, most of Jordan, I believe. I've read portions of the Gulag Archipelago. I've never read the whole book all the way through. What did you want to talk about in our Gulag Archipelago? What's your take on DC becoming a state? I think it's just a bunch of, I mean, you're polishing brass on the Titanic. This is what I'm talking about. I had somebody on a previous comment who seemed like a straight up dude. I mean, I can't, you know, I'm reading this comment and I'm going, okay, this is probably like a genuine comment. I mean, so it's almost hard for me to tell. Sometimes when I read people's comments, I'm just like, is this this is just like esoteric sarcasm? I can't tell. I mean, I think I'm just too much of an asshole, and it affects my perception. So the hold on, I'm a little spaghetti bowl here. There was a comment that I was talking about. It was like, you know, if the game, you know, it's unfortunate the game is rigged and the money, and you know, it's really unethical, and yeah. But you know, if this is the way it is and this is what we have to do, then it's like it just pays to be a winner. Fuck me, come on. These fucking people drive completely unpredictably. Can I get through here? This person. Don't you hate the tinted windows that you can't fucking see through? It's so annoying. I really just hate cities. I like just driving through fields. I really just need to make more beer. That way I don't have to fucking go outside. That's what I need to do. If I got my shit together, I just make quadruple the batch of beer. Alright, we're getting close here. Fuck, which place do I want to go? I'm gonna guess these people have probably my flavor. Looks a little bit bigger. We'll try them both, fuck it. I'm doing it fucking live anyway. Alright, I'm just doing, for this one I'm not fucking bringing you guys inside. I'm just fucking leaving the car, I'm running in there, checking, I don't even know if they're gonna have a beer. I'll have to come back out if they don't. Alright. So that's what we're doing. We're fucking running inside, grabbing some beer. I'll be right back. If you don't like it, you can just fucking go away. Holy fucks, dudes. It's all gonna fucking burn, man. Oh, okay. Bro, I just had to fucking wait in line to buy some beer while listening to the cashier talk about getting like fucking like medical first aid classes and fishing safety classes, whatever else he did. There's a lot of extracurricular activities, it sounded like. And then the person he was talking to was another employee that was not manning a cash register. That was like, I guess they were taking a break at the cash register. And then they had bright. It was like a 60, probably like 62-year-old woman with a choke collar on and pink hair. I've never seen anything like it. It was incredible. I admire her spark. Alright, I was thinking that we go check the fucking. See if we check the fucking P.O. box here. Yeah, fishing shit. I was like, are you doing like are you doing fucking like like NSW drown proofing while you're drunk or something in the pond? Like, what are you doing for fishing sake? fucking like tying your fucking hands with 550 cord and getting trashed and then just like going to the bottom trying to bite catfish and shit. Gotta be fucking safe, man. I got a catfish. Did you do the drown proofing? Yeah, dude, fucking water operations are fucking brutal, bro. I've never done anything in combat with water ops, but like, you know, like obviously like the schools and stuff, a lot of times will have like water op portions. Where the fuck am I going? They were and I was never like, I mean, I was always like good at swimming. I just never practiced or anything, right? It was like one of the things that, like, I had like an SF diver in my class, and like I fucking beat the SF diver on the whatever it was, like a 1K swim or whatever, up to the last like 100 meters. Like in the last 100 meters, he got a fresh wind, and then he fucking like just like plowed ahead. My partner didn't know how to fucking swim, like, and failed to tell me as an officer. This is a first lieutenant. And he fucking like, I mean, it wasn't like he, you know, I mean, I think he thought he could swim, but like he couldn't swim. He wasn't willing to swim. I'll tell you that. It was like me fucking dragging him on a fucking rope the whole way, and then watching him do like snow angels in the fucking water, basically. Shit was crazy. Yeah, water is scary. The really scary thing about water is when you're doing like below freezing shit, you know, or like near freezing, I should say. I mean, below freezing, that's even worse, but near freezing is really fucking hectic, man. I've seen people, like, you can't tell either. Like, you can't, like, I've seen dudes doing like training swims and stuff from like other, like, people that I don't know personally, so I can't, you know, they always look goofy to me. I can't tell when they're actually hurting or not, you know, because I don't know them personally. And they'll be like fucking like coming out of the water, and everybody kind of looks the same, you know, like they're coming out to like shiver and stuff. They're gonna be a little slower, you know, because the fucking cold going to their brain. And then they'll like come out of the water and they just like shiver and just like walk up and they're like, I can't move, Sergeant. And then you'd be like, all right, let's fucking move your ass. And then like I've seen dudes do that, and there's no way, it's like impossible to tell like who has hypothermia and who doesn't. I mean, until you start like going like blue and shit, you can't tell, because like everybody whines, you know. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of hard. All right. So we're going to the fucking post office. Oh. Oh. Fuck. They had IPA, by the way. I got IPA. Look how blue this motherfucker is. Holy shit. Did I die? Yeah. You coming? I'm gonna put you in the fucking P.O. box. Fuck, I don't have a key. Oh, I do. That's smart. I put it on my keychain a long time ago. In a galaxy far, far away. Oh my god, here. What do I got? Somebody sent something big. Got a yellow slip. And somebody sent something big. Always get trash, but this actually isn't trash for me. I'm actually gonna take this home and use it for shit. I'm gonna for like wrap up fucking vegetables and shit, or use it for like under mulch and shit. What is this for? Oh fuck. Oh, this isn't even a locker. You guys must have sent somebody sent something fucking big. They do give a locker here, so you can typically go after hours and grab your shit, but grab your fucking mail bombs that people try to send to assassinate me. But that mail bomb was too big to even fit in there. Shit, I probably shouldn't. Well, yeah, I'll put this in. I'll just take this motherfucker and put it in my car so I remember. Otherwise, it'll be like a month before you pick it up. We're back out in the blue. We're back in the blue, boys. Back in the blue. It's a trap. There's literally, I can't be honeypotted. I literally can't. I can't. It's not possible. I don't do anything illegal. I'm basically like asexual at this point, other than for procreation. I'm honeypot proof. Maybe if you can fucking guess what God looks like and dress up like them, and then come fake that, then maybe I'd be like, you can honeypot me that way. Just kidding, because it's not gonna look anything. So if you do that, I'll shoot you in the face. Okay, here we go. I know that you're an evil man, trying to bogart the god. Everybody. All right, put this motherfucker up here. Yeah. Fuck. Damn, that's tight. Okay. All right. What should we do? Should we drive? Yeah. Okay. Good idea. Let's go. Let me get to where I can read some comments here. What do you got? Whoa. If I get hash oil, what the fuck am I gonna do with hash oil? Or not? I'm not fucking burning out. No way, my friend. I'm not burning out because they just fucking shot some chick. I mean, she was getting uppity, but they shot some chick in like one of the towns within 40 minutes of her, like the other week. It's like a 25-year-old female. And then the town tried to emulate the Black Lives Matter protest. They had like a police protest. They're trying to ride on the bandwagon. It wasn't a black person that got shot. I mean, as if that matters, right? Like, I'm not saying that matters, but it's just kind of sad the way that people are. People are just so programmable and predictable that it's I don't know. It's kind of like, I'm kind of disappointed with the code that he chose to write people with. It's kind of, yeah, violence does suck. We do get put into situations where, like, I mean, it's unavoidable, right? Like if you have a super state structure running the fucking world, sending people into war with each other, it's like you may be smart enough to not go, but like, other people aren't, and they're gonna go, and then they're gonna, do what happens when you're in a war, and it's like you're statistically gonna have people that are gonna be participating in it. If they didn't do that, then they wouldn't even fucking be there, right? Like it wouldn't even be happening. I mean, there's just so many things that go into it. And violence sucks, but like, the force that's here that's making violence has not been given the okay to call it off yet. Maybe that'll come someday. I'm not sure how it all works. I'm not sure if it's like you certainly should probably exist, right? So if somebody's trying to smoke you, it's probably not your purpose to like permit being turned into a state of not being here anymore. So that's like on one hand. On the other hand, it's like you want to appeal to the like true peace, right? Like a conscious and like brave peace, not like a fake ass peace, but like a real peace where it's like the change in the world, the actual change. Now how that gets there, I don't know. Like I don't know what the I mean, logically, right, it makes sense that like violence begets violence, right? Simultaneously, it also at a surface level appears, if you have bad actors, there are obviously people that are doing this on purpose, creating these kinds of situations, and it certainly seems on a surface level like the only possible solution is for them to die, right? But that would be a judgment. You're technically not supposed to judge. The judgment's not in this world. Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. It is the truth. Like truth is the weapon that will overcome the ability of the co-optation and the synthesis of consensus, right? What I mean is for the transitional period. That's what I mean. Truth is what will defeat the entire insurmountable force and beast that we've built up against ourselves. Truth is what will defeat that in the end. It won't be the use of force. In finality. In the way, like force, you can always just make more force, right? It's human beings and weapons and ways to kill each other. And so whoever has more, numerically, is going to be superior. Well, if you don't have control of a money supply, then you don't have that at all. I mean, you may have it temporarily. You won't fucking. It's not like something that you're going to maintain. Do I like Project Pat? Yeah, I don't define like. That's kind of like a vague word. I appreciate Project Pat being a real person that, like there's some in rap music, in gangster rap music, there are some people that emulate, which is, that is a facet of the emulation, like, so man, Dark, you just opened up a fucking can of worms here, bud. Alright, so I always use the example of Nirvana and Tupac. So at that era, in the 90s, you basically had the transition out of the 1980s music, which was very monolithic and homogenous in terms of, it is now. Like right now we are in a new monolithic music phase, meaning that what is sold to the public is very, it's not very wide. Now, information access is wide, so people can seek on their own. But in terms of what is pushed, it's an extremely narrow composition structure palette, right? And that, like, a big one of it, a big part of that right now is contemporary rap music. In the 90s, you basically had the music industry was obviously looking for a way to, they wanted to make people, they wanted to destabilize culture through punching music out. Now, I really like I love Nirvana. I think Nirvana is particularly I really like Bleach. The Bleach album, like the first album, I think that album is rad. Fuck, dude, you can't say Nirvana. They'll fucking boot you. YouTube's out of control, bro. Bleach album's rad. So the fucking music industry was trying to find whatever the new flavor was going to be out of the transition. The 80s were like the nihilistic, materialist, nihilist, kind of getting into the computer era type of cultural impingement that was going on through the money apparatus. That was what was being impinged into society to think about and shit. They were getting hooked on money in overdrive. Then you had a destructive phase where people started reacting to it, and they started to reject it and shit, and they were like, oh fuck, we need a fucking disruptive music flavor that will be able to capture and shit, and then sell them some fucking albums and not make them don't to build up their morale, right? Just keep it the same or whatever. So they gave them Nirvana, and they gave them like your rappers started to rise to prominence, to act respected by the industry. I mean industry consumers. I don't mean the actual industry. Obviously, the industry doesn't respect anybody, but in terms of the way that professionals view music and shit, rap was always kind of it was on the outside prior to that, and then when you get Tupac era and shit like that, it starts to become like, whoa, this is like some solid like shit. It was way too it was like melodramatic and sad and stuff, but it wasn't fucking people up enough. It wasn't like they weren't making it was saying like, well, that's not gonna work. But then it was like gangster rap. It's all about like violence and fucking materialism. That's what we run. So, fucking good to go. And so that's why that's when you start to get it was a very slow transition into post 9/11, where now it's like, I feel like sometimes I'll stop at a gas station or something, or be like, I'll have to go into some fucking nationwide chain store or something, and I'll just hear like some shit that would be like, the syncopation and composition are similar, like gangster rap, and you're just like, how did we get here? When it's done, Abdullah, fuck's sake. I'm just gonna put it out. I'm just gonna put the fucking music out. Sorry, I'm getting scatterbrained here. So that's kind of the Nirvana, Tupac thing, and then you get modern day, and now it's just I don't even know how to describe it. It's a very sad situation, because you do have real violence in isolated, protracted conflict situations in urbanite enclaves around the United States, and it's all unnecessary. It's all just it's total ego, and it gets reinforced by the lack of hope. But the reason that you have so many fucking rappers coming out is because the music industry locked on to rap, and particularly gangster rap, and they were and whatever its metamorphosis was going to be into the future, and they were like, this is now the path to come get some easy money. And then as soon as they got it where people were actually consuming it, you know, going out and spending money on it and shit like regular ass people, then it was like the floodgates open. And then if you were, you know, it was basically, you know, people taking turns, exchanging turns to try to compete for a temporary record deal that'll last about a month, and they get, you know, a little bit of money for it, and in a majority of cases, right? And that's how you get like the gangster rap phenomenon. And it's now that being said, so in that regard, right, it is a destructive, manipulative thing, and it's to both society and the rappers and the artists, or whatever you want to call them. Now, aside from that, there, you know, that is the origin of gangster rap is real, right? It's, you know, like a genuine expression. If that's how it manifests, then I like that. The fake stuff, like people like doing emulation, I don't like that. And it's really sad, especially nowadays, because you have some artists that are extremely musically talented, and they feel, you know, most of them are young, and so their, you know, only shot is of going to getting paid, and so they get forced into emulation, which is very sad, because there are some, you know, and it really fucking degrades the depth of the music. If they were just writing from the heart, it would be so much more powerful. But you can tell that they're extremely musically talented, because some of the even the, you know, some of the composition and you know, notation structure that they're using is, you know, I mean, it's fucking good. And there's then they like, you know, it's almost like a self-immolation or something, where they're, you know, they like write this great song, and they'll be like, all right, now we're gonna talk about something that is totally, you know, here's the thing, right? They want to talk about fucked up shit, but they don't want to talk about what's the most fucked up, which is just reality. For the Chaz situation, for the Chaz no man's land, even if the government was just placating that for the MSM stimulation effect, they should have taken advantage of it, and then they should have fucking started a completely self-sufficient community. Like, they should have, as soon as they were like, oh shit, they're actually gonna let us fucking do this and they're gonna shoot us, they should have just fucking like put fucking flowers up everywhere and a fucking wall, and then, you know, like start making everything themselves, and then just being like, nope, you can't come in. That's what they should have fucking done. And just like grown all their own food and started synthesizing their oil and whatever else they want to do. They fuck, they don't even have to go anywhere anymore. If they legit get an autonomous zone, there's no reason to leave. As long as you have enough, you know, usable land to grow your food, and you have some material for shelter, I mean, fuck, you're good to go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about that Chaz shit? You know, like, I for real, you know, if you're a group of people, like, let's say you're in a city and it's you know, like 90% black people, it fucking makes perfect sense. If we're gonna live in America and have a fucking constitution, it fucking makes sense to have your own representation. You know, proportional representation is realistic. And if you're 90% black, then you should have fucking black representatives all the way up, like all the way into your whatever you're using for finance. Of course, you're just gonna use the common finance, which is the fucking slave money. You know, which is ironic, but that's what you're gonna use, and you know, that's stupid, but that's what everybody does. You know, I'm not saying that's like a black thing. I'm saying that's everybody's doing it because we're all retarded. But they could have set up fucking anything they wanted. Like, once they got that, you know, it's almost like fucking calling the government's bluff. The government was, you know, this is with our fucking social engineering program. This is going with the flow. So okay, like, go ahead. And then I think they thought, you know, I'm assuming that the government was presuming that they're not going to be able to last very long, you know, and so it didn't really matter. It was more important to get the MSM points than it was to, you know, they weren't actually fucking worried that, like, they were going to lose control of the city. They're just, you know, it's bullshit, right? Well, they should have fucking gone all the way if they were smart. Yeah, there's no fucking ROI there, is there? But that's what they should have done. It would have been fucking... This would require so many things to go right that are impossible to go right. I mean, okay, here's a scenario. You got BLM riots. Chaz pops off. The fucking placating ass Marxist slave government, puppet government, is like, good job, guys. You guys rock on. And then they fucking lock the bitch down and don't let anybody in, and they don't have to fucking leave because they actually take care of their shit. Now you pretty much have a situation where, you know, if they make any noise at all and are successful, then it's now the same state that was like, good job, guys. We'll have to fucking make up a bunch of lies and then figure out a way that is publicly acceptable for them to come in there and Waco you all, you know? So that, which would be a huge fucking wake-up call for the general public. I mean, I'm sure you'd still have fucking people that would just bounce back and forth like a fucking pinball with their ethics system and justify whatever the government wanted to tell them. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, that's not really, you know, like black culture in the United States, for the most part, is not really into that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm sure that they certainly want independence, but they want independence and the material. And they don't, you know, just like white people don't understand, you don't own the material. It's not yours. You're not going to fucking get it. They're not going to give it to you. If you have power over something and you introduced it in the first place, and then somebody's, you know, we all make the error, all the different groups and nations and everything, they all make the error of thinking in the back of their mind, they've got that little fucking twinkle star that's like, oh, imagine how much money there is, we could like get some of that. You know, if we had our own place and could call our own shots, and we could really make a lot of that. It's like, no, it's not. It's because you don't understand what it is. You think that it's like sand or something, or you know, dirt out of a. It's not. It's a fucking technology that's been around for a long time. You don't own it. Never did. Civilizations have been struggling to fucking wrestle with that shit for thousands of years, rising and falling, all you know, over and over and over again. And people just can't get that, and it's sad. It's gonna make, like, you know, in the end, you're gonna have in my prediction. Yeah, of course. In my prediction, you know, you'll have a phase for the future of humanity where the super state structure on the world, like all people, and then a lot of people are gonna be fucking scary. It's not going to be like the past. It's not going to be like communism. It's going to be way more effective than communism. It's not going to be like China. It's going to be so far beyond China. Okay, here, I'll set up my phone so it's holding fucking still. Apparently my phone moves and the stream cuts, so I'm trying to post up here. I'll post up and drink a fucking brewski. If that stays. I don't know if that'll stay. I might have to tilt that bitch up. Yeah, okay, sure. I see a lot of shit in here about body armor, so I'll just say this. So what are we looking at here? Hey, Doug, could you speak a little bit about body armor, specifically plates? What to look for in a good plate? You talked about the Blackhawk carrier, but not plates. Yeah, so the Blackhawk carrier, if you run into people that are like, you know, tactical guys and shit, like, you're gonna hear a lot of shit about like Cry JPCs and shit for carriers. Cries are good, right? They're good. The Blackhawk is a $35, you know, Polyco carrier that's minimalist as fuck. I mean, it just doesn't get much better than that. Unless, of course, I mean, I haven't bought carriers for several years, so there could be a high-speed ass carrier that's even better that's the same price. But I mean, this thing is, I mean, you can buy a fucking handful of them and fill them up with plates. For plates, okay, so here's the situation. I guess, first of all, well, let me get plates out of the way first, because that's what you're asking. I'll answer your question, and I'll tell you what I really think. People dog on Air 500 armor. It's fucking better. Fuck. People dog on the Air 500 armor. It is better than if you're in a situation where it's like you're going to get shot in the chest, it is better than not having fucking armor. And it is cheap. Apparently no armor is available right now. The ceramics, which are mostly all level 4. I mean, if you're getting ceramic plates that aren't level 4, you're doing something wrong, because it's about the only reason you put up with that weight. Probably the nicest ones are the synthetic plates, particularly the ones that are buoyant, because that'll help you if you ever get in the water or have like a vehicle rollover, like driving across a bridge or something, and people are shooting at you, and you're like, oh fuck, or you fucking go off if you're like wearing shit. But I mean, I hope you're fucking strong, because you know it doesn't fucking feel good. I'll tell you that. So ceramics are good. The really good armor that's not out right now. There's PUU, which is a polyurethane like synthetic armor that is very good. It's superior to all the synthetic plates that are out now. As far as I know, there's no one manufacturing in public circulation and like commerce, but they have been developed them for several years now. What's going on is that they're holding up because they figured out a way to make the PUU clear like acrylic glass, so they can cast it and then they can use it like a lightweight windshield, and it'll fucking stop rifle rounds, and it doesn't shatter or anything like that. It just gets like a I don't know, pool puddle type effect when a bullet hits it, and it'll typically retain the bullet. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if that doesn't tell you something, that all the fucking guns, all the fucking ammunition, all the fucking armor plates are out of stock, if that doesn't, like, if you can't figure that out, what that means, then, I don't know. You're not really going to have a lot of Highcom had a bunch of stuff. They used to have a bunch of cheap stuff sometimes. I bought 3M helmets and shit off of Highcom for really cheap, like 3M just fucking like Mitch helmets and shit. Okay, let me give you my spiel on plates. Okay, plates are good in my opinion in a defensive position, or if you're in a soft skin vehicle, like driving around in something where bullets are going to come through, then plates make sense. If you think about them like it's going to protect you, it's not. So if somebody's shooting at you with a rifle and you're wearing plates, and if they actually know what they're doing, like if they're actually a shooter, you're fucked, because it's like the entire actual combat is all about using your brain to not get ambushed. That's all that matters. All the other shit doesn't matter at all. The plates, if you're able to get hit, like plates are for random bullets and shit that just happen to hit, or somebody that's completely unskilled firing from really far away, and then you get a round, maybe 2 rounds in your vicinity, and one of them strikes you in the plate, and it's just an oddball, chance hit. That's what a plate is for. If somebody's actually aiming at you and shooting at you, like, you're gonna fucking die. Because if they hit your plate, they're just gonna pull the trigger again. If you're any further than 30 meters or whatever, the MPBR pattern of the external trajectory is going to put enough differential into there where you're gonna have the probability of the bullet just hitting somewhere else. And if they see that their rounds aren't getting effect, all they have to do is just fucking like move like a fucking millimeter and fire again, and it's gonna hit you wherever they're aiming. So if you just pretty much end up dying wearing plates. The reference for that would be like in the modern Syrian battlefield, you have a lot of body armor for the first time on people that are doing. It's not total warfare, but it is a more cutthroat warfare. It's not really like a professional first world country militaries fighting each other. These are just people that are really trying to kill each other. There's two teams trying to kill the fuck out of each other. And you see in Syria all the time, you see an entire fucking highway lined with fucking dead people wearing fucking plates. They don't. I mean, they help in the military. They're the reason why they're freaked out in the U.S. military about plates is because of the IED threat and because of the model that they're forced to use, which is a mechanized model, which is doctrinal. So it's not like the Army has a ton of latitude of what they can do. And so the general way that they fight is kind of stupid, and a lot of that has to do with that they're probably set up to lose for Iraq and Afghanistan. They're not set up to win. I can fucking tell you that. So anyway, you had at the initial onset, you had no armor, which was very little armor, and it was causing a lot of casualties. And then they started getting plates and shit, and everybody got fucking plates, and then plates became a big deal, and now it's a race to what's the next super plate. But that style of fighting, there's such a disparity between the technology that the U.S. forces have and the Iraqis. I mean, you literally find guys shooting, they'd be shooting at you with like fucking Mosins and infields and shit, You got thermal and motherfucking 240s and shit. I mean, and training, and you know what's going on. Like, you understand how satellites work and things like that. I mean, it's, obviously it's kind of a disparity there, right? Well, once it matches out, Syria would be a situation where you're looking at a approximate match. I mean, it's not totally matched, but it's approximately matched. So both sides have approximately similar weapons. I'm talking about individual weapons, and then similar equipment resources in terms of body armor and shit. And so you just see, they have like big ass street engagements, for like an entire city or, multiple block engagements. And at the end of it, you just have a line of like, I don't know, depending on the day of the week, it could be like 50, 60 dead men wearing fucking plates, all fucking wet and nasty and covered in sand like a sugar cookie. All right. So what I'm saying is that the reason that I'm talking down on plates is because I don't want it to give you a false sense of security, right? I don't want it to give you a false sense of security. If you're actually high speed and shit, I mean, if you're asking about plates, this thing isn't gonna apply to you. What I'm saying, but like, if you're actually engaged in combat, if for some reason you get in this shit so much that you actually have to learn like light patrol and shit like that, and you're doing super long movements, more than 10K in a battlefield movement, maybe multiple times a day, you're not gonna be fucking wearing plates. I can tell you that. Now here's the deal. Here's the thing about not getting killed. The highest priority in terms of planning to not get killed is mental, right? So your mind, thinking about shit, taking time to think about shit, and then fucking walking, and whatever it is. Like if you're setting up a fortification, and if it's not an engagement, if you're safe to like walk down a road to set up your defensive situation and look at your shit from the perspective of where somebody would come at you from, fucking go do it. Like most of the time, people just won't. They just don't want to. They're so used to not doing anything that they'll think of an idea and they'll be like, man, I think that'll work, but gosh, I just don't know. Go fucking war game it. go try to like break into your own shit or whatever you're gonna do and see how well it works. And it'll give you a real good idea of what the enemy's perspective will be if you're setting up I'm talking like setting up a defensive position here. Now, for armor and shit, why I'm talking about defensive positions is because dirt is what will keep you alive. Dirt keeps you alive. Plates give you this false sense of security. You could run around with no plates, and if you have dirt between you and who's trying to kill you, you're fucking good to go. And that goes, if your dirt is dug deep enough for you to get into it, that includes fucking B-52 bombing runs, This is how the VC survived. Not only that, raids. El Chapo, you know why El Chapo survived a raid? He survived because he had a fucking escape tunnel, right? If you don't have a fucking escape tunnel, you're not going to survive a raid. They're going to kill you. You know, so you got the dirt. The dirt is your friend, and you know, using it is a good idea. I mean, you could literally you could pop holes in the top of your wall, and then just bring in fucking wheelbarrows of dirt and shove them into the fucking wall and fill your wall up with dirt, and now people can't shoot through your fucking wall. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know how good of an idea that is for your resale value of your home. I'm just saying, if you're in a world, we're talking like a World War III apocalypse scenario here. You know, think dirt and get a little creative with it, and that's your best bet. It's going to go way farther than plates or something. Way farther. Yeah, be a mole man. You know what I'm saying? If you have a little escape tunnel, or even just a spider hole, you go dig a fucking spider hole and make a live foliage cover for the motherfucker. You know, with a layer of dirt on top, with fucking actual vegetation growing out of it and shit. Especially something that's not gonna be picked up on a metal detector or something. I mean, it's gonna be like fucking impossible to find you. You run outside, if you actually make it from your house to your spider hole and jump in the motherfucker and pull the cover over, like, they're not gonna fucking find you. Yeah, I mean, but you might not have sand, right? Somebody might have dirt. You might not have sand. You can fucking sterilize dirt. You know, you can heat it, and then you can put it in your wall, and that way you won't get any. I'm assuming you're talking about plant growth. The fucking sand is, you know, sand has a lot of inert seed in it and shit like that. Something's popping on my mic. Okay. I just rubbed my microphone hole on the phone. Did that do anything? I fixed it. Holy shit. I'm waiting for my check from Galaxy phone company for working in their troubleshooting division. Yeah, I know the same. I mean, we're not really worried about I mean, we're talking about, you guys said no. Look, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying when you're saying like moisture is the problem with soil and shit like that. Like, I understand what you're saying. The scenario that we're talking about, where you're actually taking the time to bust a motherfucking hole in the top of your fucking stud channel and then dump in material to stop bullets, it's the least of your fucking worries, moisture. You know what I mean? It's the least of your fucking worries at that point. I mean, in cities and shit where they have urban warfare going off, often the residents, or even you know, if there's a front that's made half and half of a city or something, one half will fucking typically they get fucking agreement to fucking blow holes through the houses, so they have a channel to like run straight through all the houses without having to like zigzag around yards and shit like that, or courtyards or fences and all that stuff. They just talk to residents like, hey, we are fighting a war. We'd like to blow a hole in your house on both sides. And they do it. And they get, you know, the fucking like moisture of your dirt is not really, you know, you're not really thinking, you're not all there in the thinking. You're not in the right scenario where you'd even be considering this shit. Happens everywhere. Happens in Iraq. Happens in Syria. It's everywhere. Happened in World War II. Hello, I am on a random channel. Hi. Hello. Hello, how are you? Hopefully nobody's getting sucked off of Bic ladders. Fuck, that's gonna be depressing. Is thermal worth it? I don't know. I mean, it's pretty powerful. It's worth it if you're smart enough to use it. smart enough to understand how to use it. It's worth it. I mean, you will see shit. Big like canned meat. So I gotta go down to the. I gotta get down there to the on ramp right now and get. I gotta give some tugs on the on ramp to get some spam. that kind of situation. It's basically like the road. We're talking like the road situation, but it's just a porno, like a fucking degenerate gay porn or something. That's the scenario that you guys are talking about. Thermal is good for detection. It's not good for. It's not good for active use in most cases. You know, like when you're in a force on force match, typically not, because it's just too slow. But in terms of detection, it's extremely effective. The cheapest you would go, free, for MPG. Richard asks, what's the cheapest you would go for MPG? Free. Trash bag? Do trash bags block? Do trash bags block thermal? I carry thermal camouflage in my truck. Oh, I'm gonna find a motherfucker. Fuck. I know I got the bitch back here, Shane. There it is. Alright, this is a thermal blanket with the fucking, one side is like a traditional thermal. The other side is camo, and the camo actually works in thermal. Murphy's got some fucking whack-off shots for him. This guy's trying to whack him off. It's just like a traditional basic. It's just like a shitty M81. This is just like a cheap Chinese, you know, space blanket with camo on one side. When you run it on a thermal, the fucking camo shows up, which is very confusing for if you're hiding in foliage and shit. It's very confusing. Yeah, I pretty much agree with Dark. It's not that I wouldn't recommend thermal. I mean, thermal is going to be very effective. It's just I'll give you the total truth, right? The total truth is that thermal is I think in thermal, in all honesty, now you're gonna be like, what? You hold it up and it's white, and then you see something that you couldn't see. It's fucking great. In my opinion, for like, you know, other than in a situation where you're just detecting something, right? Thermal is a little bit too, like, most people are not smart enough to fucking use thermal. They get themselves in trouble. Shit just happens. Things happen when you use thermal, and it fucking causes problems, and people don't understand how to use it and shit like that. I don't know. DARPA's doing crazy shit all the time and always has. Somebody should fucking pull their fucking credit card. Complain. Yeah, sorry, that's my thermal blanket. Sorry, I had to pick my nose. I didn't want to do it on camera. You know, for my reputation. So ballistic helmets, all right, so ballistic helmets they're actually good for combat stuff. The reason why isn't because of frag or bullets, it's because of impact. Because people hit their heads in combat all over the fucking place. And if you're not wearing a helmet, it will fucking, you can have a lot of fractures, like skull fractures and stuff. That's why helmets are important. I don't know. If people don't like the video, I don't care. It's fine. Let them put in all the dislikes they want. Probably fucking people working at YouTube and shit. Yeah, I would totally second that. Christian D says just buy a used ACH. I would buy a used ACH. I think the ACHs are way superior, other than the fact that you do get kind of tight. Electronic muffs are kind of tight under ACH, but the shit, especially the shit coming out now, is so thin. I mean, you're good to go. I used to stuff stuff under there easy. It didn't bother me. It'd be like under pressure. It didn't even bother me. The actual ACH is in my opinion, is better than like a high cut. Anyway. Yeah. No. If you're running around combat and shit like that, like if shit's actually, if you're, regardless of if you're actually getting shot or not, if you think that you're gonna get shot at, you start to like do things really hard. Like running and fucking like jumping and stuff, and people aren't used to that because we don't do that normally, and so you don't think about it, you don't consider it, how much it increases forces and stuff, like the forces that you're going to be subjected to. And so the helmet's really necessary because it's not for getting shot at. It's because you're going to be like jumping in a vehicle at night or something, and then you miss, and you just hit the fucking front of your forehead on like a fucking metal roll bar, and you don't have time. It's either the situation is either you don't have time to stop or like ow, you just gotta fucking go. And so you're either going to be conscious enough to do that or unfucking conscious or dead. And that's it. And so you're not going to have much choice anyway. And so the helmet's important so that you reduce the unconscious part of the scenario. Yeah, so do we have JIDF up in here? Overt JIDF or what? All right, so let's do this. We're gonna finish up thermal, and then I don't want to talk about it anymore. All right, so for thermal, steel helmets are better than nothing, but they're not that great. For thermal, you don't actually see heat with thermal. Okay. You're actually seeing in a thermal image when you're using a thermal imaging sensor. You're seeing infrared spectral light that is being reflected off of your body, right, and through your tissues. And so because it's partially passing through your tissues, it appears like it's like you're a fucking glowworm. So you're not actually seeing heat. It's just analogous to how heat would come out. It's an infrared spectrum. Envy is superior for use in every case except for trying to find somebody that's hiding. Yeah, just so you know, if you're using GPS, you can be tracked by GPS if you're activating it. Just so that you know that. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that. Yeah, there's lots of things you can get spoofed. Like if you're using GPS, if they know that you're using GPS and you're in an AO, they can just throw up an antenna and just write software for a GPS spoofer and just fucking throw it out there, and your GPS unit will, they can change it by whatever declination they want, and you'll just like all of a sudden your shit will just start fucking up. You just show up places you're not supposed to show up at and stuff. So the GPS is a receiver. The they can use like a very fancy facet of something called multilateration in order to find it, or it technically be like reverse multilateration. I don't really. I'm gonna fucking ban you, Kalashnikov addict. You're gonna get kicked the fuck out. Well, that's your choice, Richard, not mine. Have I spit in this beer yet? Have you guys seen me spit in a beer bottle? I don't trust you fuckers. If I did, I can't tell. I'm spitting it now. What do you get? Who are you talking? Here's somebody talking about RFID called the Angel Guts. Who are you talking? Angel Guts says all the tech you were talking about is 10 years ago. Are you talking to me, or are you talking about another side conversation here? What are we talking about? Hey, Juan, thanks for coming in. So, Juan doesn't agree with anything that I say, yet he still comes here all the time. He has a lot of patience, I guess. Well, I'm responding to their questions, though. I'm not saying what the fucking cutting edge shit is. You want to know the honest truth? They can fucking pull up. They can fucking multilaterate you through anything that has infrared, like infrared emitters, anything like that. So your phone, when you hold up to your ear and shit like that, like they can fucking do cross. They can do fucking cross multilateration to tell how deep you are in the room. Like if you're a dude that plays video games and shit like that, and you have all kinds of fucking depth perceiving devices all over your house, and they're obviously going to be connected to the internet most of the time. Anything that's connected, if you have smart devices and shit, all that stuff can fucking be activated. And they can tell, they do multilateration to tell like where you are in the room and all this shit. Even if you take your you can take your fucking phone off and go put it somewhere. People have no idea. Yeah, so I mean, your phone always has like you've got your infrared light to detect when it's by your face, to turn off the screen and shit like that. The big thing that's going on now is your terahertz devices and shit, and microwave stuff. That's the big stuff, because that stuff penetrates a lot more material. Like a terahertz imager. They have terahertz imagers that they're basic. I don't even know how to say. They're a lot like X-ray, but it's like, you know, it's live. It's live X-ray as a camera, and you can see through tissues. You can see through, you know, clothing, but you can see all the layers, right? Just really crazy stuff. With a terahertz camera, they're really fucking cool, and they're long range too. You don't have to be. What the fuck? Talk about Alex Dorff. Talk about rainwater collection and speak about if you have it. Rainwater comes out of the sky. You fucking put it in something. If you don't want mosquitoes in there, you better fucking make it so the mosquitoes can't fit in the motherfucker. I have it. What else do you want me to say? I don't know if they have terahertz cameras and satellites. I'm not sure about that. I mean in terms of depth. Like an X-ray has a very narrow depth of field, right? A terahertz, you know, sensor type of camera, you know, you can look down like a hallway and you can fucking basically, like, you know, the different depths of the hallway. If there's people walking up and down the hallway, you can just like, let's look at that guy's ass crack, and let's look at this guy's, you know, belly button. He's walking the fucking other way, you know, whatever. Just turns everything like a fucking stacked layer of, you know, papers, basically, that you can just see through all, and they're all transparent. Yeah, I can food regularly. So I'm not a prepper. I just, like, the way that I live is, you know, I don't have anything to do with prepping. I just live, you know, the way that is, like, taking care of myself. That's it. It's the only way that you can take care of yourself, is to do everything yourself. So, you know, I mean, I don't can. Mostly my family cans, right? It's another reason why the state is so focused on the social engineering programs to destabilize families and to socialize women and children, is because they need to destabilize the family unit, so you can't have a distribution of, you know, work for your family to take care of yourself, so you become independent, because it's very difficult. I mean, it's pretty easy to be independent by yourself, but it's just not really the point of life, right? Like, you gotta do it as, you gotta perpetuate your generations, and it becomes very efficient when you're dividing work between the family unit. Fill the earth. Yeah, basically you can't, so they're attacking the family, because if they didn't attack a family, then if shit got bad, then a family could just, you know, can food and shit, you know. That's why they had to get moms out of the house, right? You can't, it's very hard to control everybody if people are sitting down and sharing their thoughts with each other in a family and talking about what they think in total confidence of each other, you know. When you have a family and you're sitting down and you know that, like, what you're saying in there is not fucking going anywhere, right? Like, nobody's fucking saying anything to anybody, because you don't even give a fuck, because you're all too busy taking care of each other to even, you know, it's just not even a thing, right? And you can talk to each other and be like, you know, I mean, this is just kind of a ridiculous scenario I'm coming up with, but, you know, you can talk to me like, honey, you think all this shit is totally fucked up? And she's gonna be like, yeah, I don't like it. And you're like, yeah, it's totally fucked up. Let's get some more guns. Let's fucking Let's fucking get up our fucking food canning regiment and make sure that we have all our crops in and all this shit. We're just gonna fucking build a fucking wall. We're gonna build Trump's wall around our fucking house and our souls. Timmy says, "How long do you think we have to prep to get the preps ready?" You shouldn't think about it like a prep. You should think about it like changing your lifestyle. So just start it gradually. Don't go overboard. You should start fucking years ago. The biggest thing I think is planting, getting your rainwater, and plant. Getting rainwater is priority number one. If you're not getting rainwater, then it's like you're gonna have to go buy water at a gas station from a municipality. Very easily controlled. It's a total weak link, right? Now, life straws and shit like that are handy. You should have, throw a straw in your truck or something in your vehicle. So if you're stranded on the side of the road or something or whatever, some fucked up situation where you're just out and about and you gotta go with what you got. You got something where you can drink out of somebody's toilet with it if you want, or whatever. but you don't, you can't just buy. You can buy pallets of life straws, but it's just not the right way, right? The right way is to forget all of the shit that made you forget about what was real in the first place. Stop listening to fucking MSM. Stop listening to politicians. Stop listening to the people that have money. Stop listening to people that are trying to sell you things, because they're all fucking slaves. Like, they're totally enslaved. They have no choice but to perpetuate the current system. Everything that they have is invested. All of their false notion of, power and wealth and all those things, it's completely reliant on the system. They'll never buck the system. And their entire prerogative is painted by their dependence on the system. They're the ones that have the loudest voices and that, are involved in perpetuating lies, and they're fucking everywhere. Stop listening to them. They don't know what they're talking about, and most of them are going to be in a bad situation. Oh. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, your Totino's pizza rolls are not gonna, they're not gonna hold you over. You know what I mean? You gotta learn how to make the grain for the Totino. So Waco was all about, it's basically Chuck Schumer. It was senators. They're basically senators and they don't like it. Thoughts on weapons and ammo caches outside? I think that's probably a good idea. Probably. Wesley Clark. I'm not sure. I mean, Wesley Clark's definitely an NWO cat. Not a terribly bright one either. Fuck. 15 acres with a house, 20K, I'd fucking go with that. Yeah. Holy shit. That's about the best deal that you could find. They're all really fucking cheap. Like, if you go out to the boonies and shit, like places where nobody wants to live because there's no Pier 1 imports or whatever, the fucking Amazon, the people there are just selling property and they think it's worthless. They're basically like, oh, we don't have any of the good stuff, we're moving out. And they abandon houses and shit, and you're lost. I mean, I'm talking like some of these places that I've seen now I'm talking about like little communities where they have houses, not like land, like farmland, but little houses, you're talking kind of a semi-dilapidated house on a lot for, a few $1,000s. System 3 said he got a deal like that. What I was describing, the township condemned it and issued an order of demolition. Yeah, you didn't go podunk enough. If your town has the ability to, if they have their shit together enough to be issuing demolition orders, then you're not in a dilapidated enough town. There are towns around here where I'm at that have entire blocks that are abandoned for decades. Nobody's getting out any condemned orders. There's houses with fucking trees growing through them. There are no building codes if you go out in the movies. Are they haunted? I'm gonna kick you out. You're in timeout. 640 acres? Holy shit. I mean, that's a lot of land. 640 acres, that's a lot. That's a lot of fucking land. It'd be difficult. Like, you can't really, you can like squat on it. You can't really, it's difficult to maintain 640 acres without a bunch of equipment. Machinery and shit. Other than just, driving around a perimeter. Yeah, oats are good. I got some, I'm doing hulless oats right now. I'm experimenting. I got hulless oats, flax. I just pulled garlic today. I got so much fucking garlic. It's crazy. My entire porch is filled with garlic right now. I mean, I have all the acres I need. I'm on 20 acres, and it is plenty. I mean, it would be nice to have more of a, it's always nice to have more buffer. Like 20 acres. If I had a property right up against my property line, it'd be a little close. But yeah, I'm not gonna have any problem using the garlic, guys. Don't worry about it. Well, I'm not gonna stop paying taxes. See, I'm gonna pay off my property first. Like, obviously I'm on a mortgage, so I'm gonna pay off my property first, which is gonna be pretty cool. When it's about the only positive aspect about all this shit that's going on, that people are gonna be able to pay off properties, unless of course we get raided and get if the Chinese army successfully raids the United States and moves through it and just takes it. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, that's a very unlikely scenario. But like I say, or U.S. force, like someone in the United States did that. Redistribution or something. No, I did not build my home. My home is a 100-year home built by a very competent builder 100 years ago. And I have rebuilt a lot of it. Like I plumbed the whole thing. I replaced the floor, the whole floor, shit like that. I'm working on it a lot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, foreigners are easy to identify most of the time. Yeah, I would recommend. I would recommend for water, if you're getting raw land, I would recommend building the first thing that you do, building like a framed metal awning that's very large, calculated your water usage in terms of your surface area, whatever your water usage is going to be. You calculate, you take where you're going, you take the longest dry spell that's basically in your lifetime or whatever. Well, however much luck you're feeling, you take the longest recorded dry spell, however many days it went without raining, you know, in history in that area, and then you're gonna need your water storage capacity to cover that, divided by your water usage per day. And then what you do is you make a sheet metal roof that's wood framed with like simple 2x4s and posts, and put up a big enough surface area that you're pulling. You're gonna get a gallon per inch per square foot. Right? That's like your approximate calculation for rainwater. And then I would recommend getting an RV or whatever. I mean, it depends on how much dough you're rolling with. If you're ready to go, just building a house, then more power to you. If that's not the situation, you just need to get land and get set up. I recommend finding an RV or something, or even a fucking like a pop-up camper or something with a truck. That can get you far, and then you can park it underneath your motherfucking awning. Capture all your rainwater on the metal roof, and you're good to go with that for years if you have to. It's not going to be or trailer, yeah, right. Trailer, camper, RV, whatever, and just set it up to be comfortable. Like there's no rules, right? So do whatever the fuck you want. Run pecs through the bitch, fucking poke holes in it, whatever. It's all wood stove, like whatever you need to do. You just do it that way, right? You don't have to. You got to think outside the box. Yeah, you're fucking mobile. You can set the shit up wherever you want. Like if you get a piece of land, you don't have to have it right up front by the road. You could put up a hedge blind, or serpentine or something where people have no fucking idea that you're there. Go back into a corner somewhere and you set up your shit, and then you can build. Now you have all the time in the world to build. You're just limited at that point to resources to build whatever your finished property's going to be. But it certainly is the case. Your first priority is water. Your second priority is going to be electricity or power. I recommend automatically, if you're building shit, if you're not into pneumatics, you need to get into pneumatics. Pneumatics are huge. If you get a finish nailer and a frame nailer, and even like a pancake air compressor, you're going to be miles ahead of where you were when you didn't have it for building shit. Like I'd build shit so fucking fast with a framing nailer. With a framing nailer, you can just fucking you just get like a stockpile of 2x4s and just make whatever the fuck you want. And fucking boom, 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 boom. And it's like an absolute must-have. By the way, if you get a framing nailer, get whatever you want, but if you do get a framing nailer, make sure if you do get a framing nailer, make sure you oil the bitch. You drop oil in the air receptacle hole. Make sure you fucking oil. A lot of people use air tools and they never fucking oil. Don't do that. No, not all air tools. Paint sprayer doesn't need any oil. It needs an oil separator. Mechanical torque tools will need oil. Yeah, your mind is absolutely, everything is the mind. Everything is the mind. From soldiering to survival to whatever. how would I put my air tool away dry? Yeah, 21 degree, that's what I use. I use a 21 degree. I went like I'm like way into pneumatics, so I splurge a little bit on my air tools. So I got like a Hitachi framing nailer, you know, and a Hitachi later on I found a good deal on a Hitachi finish nailer. Make all kinds of shit. And I order for my nails, I order that shit on eBay. I buy bulk nails on eBay from contractors and shit that have job left over or whatever, and they'll just throw it up on eBay. Buy like a shipping container full of fucking nails. Yeah, it's true. Oh, okay, here we go. So the way to set up, so you use the Amish model, right, for your air. So what you do is you buy a 500-gallon propane tank. So like I bought a 500-gallon propane tank for $100 off a guy. Okay, you purge all your propane out. You know, you don't need propane in there. You get all the propane out. There's different ways that you do it. The one that I got was like empty and sitting in somebody's yard with the caps off for like a decade, so I didn't have any problem. You get the fucking you get your propane tank. You're going to you know, run a compressor inlet into it, right? And then you get a belted compressor, and then you run your belt off a windmill. And then once you get to 500 gallons or 1,000 gallons, or I would recommend doing multiple, because the 500-gallon tanks are about 1,000 pounds. So when you're moving around and shit, it's kind of a pain in the ass. If you do the 1,000-gallon tanks, I think the 1,000 gallons 1,500 pounds. It's a little bit better and more redundant to do multiple 500-gallon tanks in series. So if you need like 2,000 or 3,000 gallons of air, just get a bunch of 500-gallon tanks. They're typically a lot cheaper too. They're way smaller and easier to use, and just plumb them in series. Like run their airlines in connection in series, so that it acts like one big tank, and then put shutoffs between them so you can isolate tanks if you need to, and then run black pipe, you know, for your air, and then you run your belt for your compressor. You run it off the windmill. Now it will be less efficient than electricity, right? Because the air compressors are already inefficient. People get hung up on efficiency for air compressors. It doesn't fucking matter if you're not paying for power. You know, if you're using like a windmill, if you're using like a windmill, then the fucking thing, you know, it's just always going on. You know, it's always fucking feeding air to it. It doesn't matter how slow it is. You just leave it on all the time. Now you do have to, obviously, I mean, if you're fucking around with air and propane tanks and shit, then surely you're familiar with air at that point, right? So I don't think I need to say that you need to put a fucking pressure release valve in there, right? But I'm saying that nonetheless, I guess, because you guys have trained me to give dumbass warnings to people, because every time I don't, somebody makes a fucking comment. Like, obviously you want to put a pressure release. Yeah, I'm familiar with the Trump pump, yeah. Are you familiar with the Trump like the Taylor pneumatic mines in Canada? Yeah, whole house fans are cool. The other thing that you can do with so with air, you can actually run fans off of air. So the way the Amish do it is they run 1/8-inch air lines in, like, through the house, just like if you were doing conduit or something, like electrical conduit. So they just run an 1/8-inch air line across the ceiling, and then they just use air motors. You know, so you just get the oh, apparently Josh got me some kind of antenna. Yeah, you can set up air motors. I mean, they make all kinds of obscure air tools that people aren't typically familiar with. You also have this thing called air over water, which is a way of it's like a hydraulic and pneumatic setup. So you can combine hydraulics and pneumatics for anything that's like high load. You know, like if you need something that put on like serious fucking PSI and maintain it and wouldn't release or fail, that you'd run that part off a hydraulic, and then you would energize it using air. So you're dude, could you change your fucking name to not a bunch of lines? Every time you make a comment, it fills up the whole screen. Hello? I mean, apparently we've got new people in here. This guy says, Ben says, are you playing a single generation of survival, or have you given thought to a multi-generation survival plan? So my kids are feral, okay, meaning that they don't have any documentation. You can chew on that for a minute. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw it, Josh. Thank you. How you doing, Josh? You doing all right? Yeah, they'll give you. Juan is lucky. He says he doesn't have a social security, and he also says he can get one if he wants it. You're fucking A right. You can. You can fucking. They'd love to give you social any fucking time. You can just any day of the week. They'll fucking give you one. Good book for counterinsurgency. Not really. Your brain. I'm sure he would. Do you guys want like a general Discord? Josh, these guys keep on asking for Discord. Do you guys want to make them like a separate general Discord to fuck around in? Make a fucking demolition derby Discord where they go around in their bumper cars. Josh is going to hook you guys up. He's going to open up a tool shed Discord for you guys. There you go. There's the Discord link. Josh just threw it up. Hop on in there, boys. Have fun. Make sure you carry your screwdrivers point down when you're running. Halligan bar? No, I haven't. You gonna tell me about it? Thank you, Josh, by the way. Halligan tool. I never call it a bar. I think you're talking about like a drinking bar. Yeah, Halligan tool. Yeah, I know all about them. I fucking had a bunch of them. Yeah, they are cool. We used to have in the army. We used to have some that were fucking like custom contract made for breachers, and they would be like titanium and fucking I don't know what some kind of high grade steel, and they're fucking telescoping. So you like the grip on it was exactly like a barbell, but a little bit thicker. It's kind of like they're about as thick as like you ever seen the oversized bench press barbells that they use for whatever you call it, whatever that like gay powerlifting or something, like not quite Olympic lifting, just kind of like really focused on whatever it is, and they make the oversized bench bar. It's like that kind of thickness on the handle with the diamond stuff on it, and then it had like a fucking button, and you press it, and the whole motherfucker would just like whoosh, come out like a Batman tool. Look at this shit, and you just strap into your to like 3-day bag. Yeah, they're really cool. I don't even know what I shudder to think what they charge the government to make those for, but they're pretty cool. For food preservation, I recommend fermentation and pickling. I mean, canning is pickling, but I don't recommend heat canning because it destroys so many nutrients. I also recommend dehydration, like solar dehydration, a solar dehydrator, meaning a passive box that doesn't use any electricity. You put like shit in there and then it dehydrates it. Yeah, gas saws and shit. Gas saws, chainsaws, all that stuff's useful. Pickaxe is really useful. Good pick. The timeout just expires on its own. No, sorry, Josh. I put him in timeout because he kept on commenting, and his name was so big, it was covering up all the comments. I couldn't read him. So I put him in timeout. I don't even know what that means. I just saw him and I was like, okay. No worries. It's not a personal thing. I just I couldn't read the fucking comments. And every time you comment, I would do it, and I was trying to read comments. All right, well, let's pick a good topic, or maybe like a pair of topics that we can talk about for a minute, and then I'm gonna wind it down here. Yeah, I know, right? Josh is like every time he put like haha, and it'd be like boom. DIY MVGs eat carrots. A 4-way Silcock key? What is that? Tell me what a 4-way Silcock key is. Please educate me upon one. Backpacking. BlackRock. We've already talked about BlackRock. Backpacking, you have to be more specific. Hacking DEFCON, we're definitely not going to talk about. Spelunking, nope. Are you talking about like a meter, or a valve? Are you talking about a valve wrench? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, yeah. See, everything you're saying has like a weird name to it. We don't call it any of that stuff. We call it a valve wrench. You're talking about like a 1.5 by 1.5 square valve wrench for like for municipal water. What are you talking about? You doing? Are you gonna fucking drought them out? Fuck with their water and stuff? Is that your? No, so like one of the things I probably shouldn't even say this. I'm gonna say it. So, if you notice, basically, like this is what's fucked up, right? So, on one hand, in order for the world government to really have control take effect, they've had to centralize everything, right? Which is very it's disconcerting to see, and it causes a lot of problems, like social problems, and it's kind of depressing. On the other hand, it also, because everything's centralized, it has to be maintained by the general public, which means that everything has to be Barney style. So everything that everybody uses is pretty much the same. It's standardized across the entire United States. And what that means is that, there is no OPSEC or security for all the things that you could use to reverse apply pressure on the government. Now, the weird thing about it, now what I'm saying is that inevitably, when conflict breaks out, if you have organic, like if you have a fake conflict, for instance, right? If you have a fake force that the superstate creates and introduces and funds, then, because they're going to essentially guide them what to do with funding and control, they tell them, don't do that, don't do that. You need to focus on this. They're never gonna do anything effective, right? They're just gonna shoot a lot of bullets and kill a lot of people, and then that's it. The because they're gonna use them as a hammer. If you had an organic conflict that was real, what happens is, because of the way that they set up everything, you can pretty much do whatever you want everywhere. In terms of applying pressure, like you can cut communications, you can fucking cut. I mean, all of your wireless transmission towers are standardized, all in terms of sizing and how they set them up, and because they have to be compliant with all different regulations for different independent executive agencies. What that means is that there's not, it's standardized, right? It's all the fucking same, so it's extremely vulnerable. Like, you learn to attack one, you attack all of them. Same thing with water. You can just like shut off water. You can shut off hardline communications. You can shut off power. All that shit can get shut off. Somebody in here is trying to get Juan to get him a Brazilian girl. That's going to take up too much comments, right? We're not doing that here. If you're not like a teenager and you don't have your wife by now, it's because you misprioritized your time. Talk about the education system. Well, it's fucked. It's a diseducation system. Juan's pretty straight up so far. I don't know the man, but I like his style. Yeah. My recommendation for women is to, you should find one that's, young, and then you should view it as like a development project, right? Like you're basically gonna have to defeat the socialization conditioning and provide something of value in a genuine way that is like engaging and honest. The best thing that you can do is to try your best not in a I don't mean in a like a display kind of way. I mean like in a genuine, like if you put work into something, people fucking notice. You know what I mean? Women are pretty much totally used to everybody not giving, just everybody not giving a fuck about anything and spending about 2 seconds thinking about something all the time, one segment and second to the next for eternity. And the other part of what they're used to is people faking, right? And so forgetting your gal, what I would do is I would find a young gal, and I would, obviously they're going to have to want to have some aspect of wanting to be interested in spending any kind of time with you, and then I would like try to be think of it almost like mentorship or something. You basically have to be like a hostage negotiator and a psychologist, and you need to do it naturally. If it's forced, they're gonna smell it. They're gonna be like, you're not suave. Yeah, college really does do a number on them, for sure. Yeah. Your best thing for women is just to be yourself. If you're yourself, and you try hard to be yourself. Like you think about whatever your intent is. Like your heart is gonna tell you what is gonna really fulfill you. If you spend the time to think about it. If you spend the time to think about it and consider it, and you're like, this is what I really want to do with my time, and if you apply your effort towards that in a way that's accountable to yourself, like you know that you're really putting an effort into it, and then you have somebody else in your life that is there and can tolerate you, then they're going to just be energized by your honesty and effort, pretty much regardless of what it is. Yeah, it's the most powerful thing. Like if you're trying to like fake or like don't even, the word impress should not even be in your vocabulary. Do Americans still ride horses? Yeah, it's most of that stuff is like in the West. But yeah, there's horses. Most people just own horses and they don't really do much with them anymore. Yeah. No, you gotta be willing if you wanna be in a healthy relationship in a union with a woman. Like you need to be yourself and be honest, and then you need to hold them accountable too. And if you're picking up a chick out of society, we live in a society. If you pick up a chick out of society, you're gonna be fucking trashing some bags that they brought with them. Because you're gonna have to get rid of that shit, and it's gonna be fucking tough. It's gonna take years. I would not. Yeah, I mean, a partnership. Yeah, it is a partnership in terms of that. In terms of respect, right? In terms of respect, it's a partnership. But you got to be like, like women. Like a man is supposed to be a man. You got to be the man of the family. Like you are the dude. You're the dude that if the fucking big bad monster comes out, like you're the one that's gonna have to fucking like defend him or die trying. You know what I mean? A woman's not gonna do that. That's what she needs. You know what I mean? You're in a straight up kind of way. In whatever, I don't mean that like be big, bad, tough the way that you aren't. I mean like in whatever qualities that you have that you were blessed with, you need to be yourself. Yeah. You can't. So you guys, if you haven't realized this, if you haven't figured this out yet, you can't be anything at all except exactly who the fuck you are. And the only thing that will give you problems is when you try to be something that you're not. When you try to emulate, some kind of idea. First of all, in our perspectives, when we look at things that we want to emulate, we fuck it up because our perspective is already doped, like in the first place, right? Like we're not seeing things clearly to even get to that point. You can be the only thing that you can be is exactly who you are. And if you embrace that and put all your effort into it and spend some time to think, about like the things that you care about, it's going to reveal a path to your purpose and like which is never ending. It just continues to unfold as you learn more and more about yourself and the world and your existence. And you just be yourself, and you put effort into it, and you be willing to accept failure. Be willing to accept failure. Don't have the expectation of being perfect or being badass or whatever. Just take it as it rides and be willing to fucking get back up when you get knocked down. And you do that over and over again, and then people are fucking starving for it. Like, all of humanity is starving to be around people that are like that, because it inspires them to start to see that way too, and they start to enjoy life, and then that is like very healthy. And so that's all that you got to do. That's it. And when you do that, people appreciate being around you even when you're sad or something. No, there's lots of good gals out there. The cities probably aren't the best prospect. Like, I would go. I mean, dude, girls around here are like, I mean, I don't want to be like derogatory or something. I don't want to say it's like derogatory. It's not what I mean. They're just so, I mean, they got the girl psychology, as all women do. But the women out here are just simple, man. Like, it's very, very straight up. What's up, Ryan? Yeah, we've been running for a long time. Good evening, sir. Yeah, down to earth, right. Yeah. Republican women, that's not even a real thing. Down here, you'll find like women running cattle and shit. Mostly it's for their husband. If their husband's busy doing something else, so they're gonna like run cattle. Simple Jack. All right, what the fuck are we talking about here anyway? I was just trying to give some of you dirty simps some hope here. The biggest thing about women is that to be in a healthy relationship, you have to be able to walk away. It's like that scene from Heat. Where Robert De Niro's like, when you see that heat around the corner, you gotta be willing to walk away 10 seconds flat. That's like, you could just replace that with like some wife material or something. There's your secret to success, is to like mean what you say. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Women don't like it when you don't do what you say. I fucking learned that the hard way all the time. Almost done here. All right, topic. Let's get a topic going here. Yeah, of course women are difficult, and for women, their perspective, men are difficult. It's the way the union works. It's the way that we were created. Humans are broken. I agree, but they can be fixed. Just not by us. It's a time thing. Fuck yeah, long range is worth it, Ryan. Ryan, don't you shoot long range? I saw you had some picture where you're on, like on Twitter. You got like looks like you're doing PRS. I'm guessing, or what are you doing? Yeah, PRS. Bro, I'm really into 50 cal. Although I do not shoot a lot of 50 cal now because I need to fucking buy a press. I don't have a 50 press. I never invested in one when I should have, so I don't have one, and so I need to get one. I'm just gonna get a Lee fucking loader. No, 50 is fucking cheap, bro. 50 is cheap for that range compared to like 338 or some other options. Even, I mean, shit, even motherfucking 300 Win Mag. Like I shoot a lot of 300 Win Mag. 50's about on par with that. Ralph is hard to get. You pretty much have to get something that swiped him from the military. Yeah, 6.5 Creed is really good. All that's like 260 or 6.5. They're really good, and I think that they're, in terms of in that range, it's about hard to beat. You know, they're like an extended 308 that's a little anemic, which is fine because 308's a little overkill. 338 is great. It's just very proprietary. 50 cal. I mean, for even skilled shooters, 50 cal does everything that 338 does. I mean, I'm talking about in terms of the max possible effective range. I just mean in terms of the ranges that, you know, the world is built to expose to the human fucking eye. Like unless you're out in a canyon or something, 50 cal covers everything, and it's extremely 50 cal is extremely efficient as a cartridge, which is incredible because it's a very old cartridge, you know, designed by Browning. One of the best cartridges, really. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, an auto. Yeah, are you talking about a 50 cal auto? Somebody said with autos I've heard of accuracy issues. Are you talking about a Barrett and shit? A Barrett is basically, it's almost like an AK. It literally uses a triangular rotating bolt. Yeah, 50 cal you're gonna go. 50 cal can go up to like 2,500. I mean, depending on how much dope you have on your optic. Yeah, the brakes are crazy, bro. The brakes are crazy. You gotta have it, though. You gotta have brakes. Roller delayed blowbacks, I think they're pretty cool. I think the fluting is cooler. Like the really, like people get really hung up on the roller delay. That's simply that's just your delay mechanism. The really cool thing about it is like the fluted chamber, because it prevents stuck casings. Smoothbore 14.5. I just got a little AR air rifle here. I think most of your steals are just using Glocks. Most of the HK stuff was just HK doing basically product placement through contracts. Yeah, no, there's basically now for 50 cal it makes sense for long range because obviously the places that you're going to that you would have targets that would extend out to the max effective range of 50 cal are aircraft, like air to ground or ground to air, and highways, right? Like that's the only place. That's the only place that really makes a lot of sense for that kind of range. But in terms of just general purpose, you know, connecting to the target consistently and shit, you know, with very high BC and extreme efficiency, it's a excellent cartridge. I mean, if you hit something, it's gonna fucking, it's gonna fucking leave an impression. But it's very capable. It's one of the, it's in my opinion, 50 cal, like pound for pound, is the best long range cartridge in my opinion. Not out of a Barrett fucking M82 or 107. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like bolt guns. I'm talking about like a fucking oh, at least if it's a Barrett, do the fucking M97 or whatever. You're gonna pull it. I think an M97 is like a 2-minute gun. I've got a Mauser. I've got a 50 cal Mauser. So it's pretty fucking accurate. You're like a minute, probably like 3/4 minute, honestly. I think suppressors are cool for a 50 cal because you're not shooting a shitload of rounds. So here's what sucks about suppressors, right? If you use suppressors on an AR, I use suppressors on ARs for a long time, like 5.56 guns, and while I did like them, it does pull down it pulls down your time between maintenance like significantly. So you have to do a lot more cleaning. And so I don't really like that, but I do like 9mm suppressed. I like 300 blackout suppressed because that's where you're in 22 suppressed. That's your quiet zone. And then I like bolt gun suppressed so that you can, and that's not really about being quiet. That's just about obscuring your location. You know, like people are gonna know where you're shooting from with the 50 cal. If you put a can on there, people are gonna know that you're shooting, but they're not gonna know where you're at. Ooh, 300 block. Yeah, I never bought one. I always wanted to get the what was it? Was it Ruger? Whoever made the bolt guns that were 5.56 mags with the 300 blackout chamber and like a short ass, like 16-inch barrel. Those were the shit. I should have bought one. I never bought one. I'm a loser. This is shit. This is shit. Yeah, the Ruger American. This shit was badass. You know what I don't understand? Why the fuck hasn't anybody made a fucking AR-15 barrel with the index pen and the barrel extension chambered bolt gun using an AR bolt and a fucking AR-15 barrel? And you just put like a sleeve over the fucking, just make a fucking like gas tubeless sleeve that you put over the barrel and fucking cinch down to block the fucking gas port so that people can like load up whatever caliber they want and just have a chassis. I mean, to me that seems like a no-brainer for sales. Who made it? Who the fuck made it? Oh, the CZ ball guns, the 760 by 39 CZs. Man, I wanted that so bad. That's another one I always wanted to buy and I just never bought it. I wanted the fucking Mannlicher one where it's like all wood all the way across the bottom. I wanted that. Okay, here's the guns that I always wanted and I never bought. A Hakim 8mm, the 760 by 39 Mannlicher from CZ. The what the fuck else? A Coach gun, because I never bought a Coach gun. There's cheap Coach guns, and I should have bought that. Nazi guns, I always wanted to buy. I always wanted to buy the fucking Nazi gun. You should fucking buy. Are Nazi guns expensive right now? I think everything's sold out, right? For when I was looking at Nazi guns back in the day, like 5 years ago or so, the like they weren't that high, and so there's always a situation where something will be a really good deal, and then you'll be like, well, that'll obviously I don't need to buy that right now because it's a good deal, so there are plenty available, and I'll get them later. I should have bought them. It's not like they're making any more Nazi guns. It's like a fucking historical piece that you can still buy. What other guns? What other guns do I always want to get that I didn't get? I always wanted to get one of the Molot 12 gauges. I never got that. I did get the Sega back in the day. I ended up selling it, but I would have liked to get a Molot, with the folder on it. I would have got a Calico, like the 1980s Calico guns. I would have got some of those. I would have got the 22 and probably the 9mm. And what the hell else am I missing? I know I'm missing some shit. Well, yeah, the Vepers are just high quality. I mean, it's just very similar to the issued one. So it's just kind of a no-brainer, right? Like if you're an AK guy, collecting AKs. Like the Segas aren't exactly, they're not exactly like to spec. Yeah, magazine issues can really turn you on. And probably $1,000. I would have got $1,000. .270 is your favorite? Are you serious? I don't like 270 at all. Yeah, I've got a 1022 Charger. I agree. Juan says 1022 Charger is awesome. So I've got a 1022 Charger with a can on it and a like a Holliston red dot. It is this shit. It is fucking killer. Chopper Rhino. I don't like this. I don't think they're that good. I had one in a gun store for a long time. Very hard to sell. Alright. Oh, M6 survival rifle, yeah. Man, I wish I was born like a decade and a half earlier. Because I would have had, you don't know how, I mean, man, if I would have made the fucking 80s wave for buying guns, for buying like class 3 shit, holy fuck. Whew, man. I get like the Bushmaster bullpup survival rifles and shit, like the fucking, or the Armalite bullpup shit, like all that shit, man. I wouldn't be where I'm at now in terms of like, trying to philosophically condemn the economic system, because I'd just be like, yeah, we need to make money because we need to buy more guns. We need all the guns. I'd be fucking like just building a fucking collection that would go to the sky if I was alive in the 80s. Oh yeah, 80s, 90s Milser. Oh, I don't know. Dermo, and fucking supply thieves are pretty sweet after Iraq War. Like there's a lot of shit out there. It's a pretty good time for that, for Milser. Just not weapons. Cop's in here. Welcome, Cop. Who the fuck is this? LA582. Dugan, you alright? It's like somebody's just like, I'm reading this comment like somebody's like interrupting in my car and like sticking their head in the window and they're like,
You're like, Dugan, you all right, man? You look so different from the last I've seen you. That's what the comments said. I mean, I'm just fucking with you. LE5. LE5 suck, by the way. I mean, not. I don't mean that like your name. I mean like the actual gun. The. I mean, what do you mean, man? What is wrong? Like, what, you know? It's kind of. I mean, I'm not offended. I wouldn't say that to somebody unless I was trying to offend them, bro. You basically. It's like you're dancing around, coming in and sticking your head into somewhere and saying like, "Hey, you look like shit." And you're just like doing it in like a non-direct way. What did you call it? Gaslighting? That's like a Jewish newspaper term. I don't use that term. What does gaslighting mean? What? Okay, somebody's. I'm sorry, I ignored you. What are you asking me? Favorite rock or metal band? Okay, sure. My favorite rock band is probably. Who the fuck is my favorite rock band? I mean, it's hard to define rock. If we're talking about like my teenage years, you know, or like like going through, you know, becoming an adult and stuff. I love fucking Neurosis. Neurosis is like the old Neurosis from the '90s, like the album Times of Grace. Times of Grace by Neurosis is one of my. It's one of the top albums I think I've ever heard. And when I listen to it, I try to listen. I usually listen to it when I'm like working out, which I haven't done for a long time. I probably need to get back to that. But you know, I usually just put on the album and listen to it all the way through. And that's one of my favorite. I really like Pig Destroyer, which is a very niche band. It's like a grindcore metal, and it's like really fucking heavy shit. Their albums are all really different. Like every album, I mean, they're all fucking. If you listen to them, you're like, ah, they're very disturbing. All the music is like really disturbing, but each album has a very unique flavor to it. My favorite probably is Prowler in the Yard. Prowler in the Yard by Pig Destroyer is like you listen to that shit, you're gonna be like, I don't know what. You're gonna, at the end of it, you just feel like you've like. I'm not gonna use the word transcendent. I'm gonna say like descended, but it's a very it's like a very visceral exposition of like human music. It's intense. For heavy music, we're talking. Now I listen to a lot of shit like. I listen to a lot of classical, you know. So I listen to a lot of like Rachmaninoff, Tchaikovsky, Mozart, Wagner, shit like that. You know. And then like I enjoy writing music. What else? Favorite opera singer? Probably Maria. Fuck. I like the Italian ones, but I'm not like I don't speak Italian or anything, so it's like it's difficult for me to remember the names. I mostly just download their albums. I also listen to a lot of. In the last couple of years. I've listened to a lot of classical guitar. Yeah, I listen to electronic music. It's just not, you know, I mean, like, modern music is very, in terms of, you know, I don't want to get all nerdy on you guys, but it's kind of, yeah, Maria Callas. Yeah, thank you. Maria Callas. Yeah, that's probably my favorite opera singer. Modern music. Now I do appreciate modern music, right? Even like it's just like the most degenerate gangster rap and stuff. I appreciate it. I just don't appreciate it in the same way that the general public consumes it, right? Like I think it's very destructive, and so the way that people consume it as they almost just consume it like a dope hit to their capital consumption and shit. And so I don't view it that way. The way that I view rap music is like I'll tell you the way that I view rap music is like a tragedy. Like when I listen to rap music, it's like I'm listening to like Shakespeare tragedy or something. But it's like when I appreciate it is when it's a genuine cry. You know what I mean? Like I like even like super materialistic shit like the what was like the recent one in the past couple years. I mean, it's nothing special, but like I like the stuff. I like some of Bones stuff. I like some of the Suicide Boy stuff. They're so fucking dramatic. It gets kind of annoying, but I like some of their stuff. I like their genuine stuff. I like what else? I like some of like Gucci Mane, like when fresh out the feds. You know, when he came out with that, and he made a music video like the week that he got out of prison. I like that. I like Project Pat, but it's not really. It's more of like because that's just their individual struggle, right? Like I'm not into like the materialism or the ego or anything like that. I don't like Lil Wayne. I've never liked the music from Lil Wayne. Like I think his composition is poor. Now most like rap is very interesting because you typically have industry composers that are like rap gurus that write all the music and they just disseminate it among their friends. You know, so like your actual like what is actually making the song really successful is not actually the rap artist, right? It's actually there's like a composer that is working with like 20 rap artists that are top 10, and they are disseminating they're just like writing the music in the background and just fucking like working a sales deal to disseminate to your top artists. One of my favorite composers that's a current composer, like in terms of music, I don't really like the lyrics. I think the lyrics, it's just not my cup of tea. Like not because I don't like the guy or his voice, it's because I don't think that he hasn't yet tapped his genuine inner expression. Once he does that and he stops trying to be somebody else, then it'll be amazing. But I really like Night Lavelle. Night Lavelle, his composition is really excellent, and it's very natural. Because I don't think he went to any kind of like music school or anything like that. So it's just his natural ability to write music. But he has a lot of composition it's very signature, and you can actually identify it. So he writes a lot of stuff for Chris Travis and shit like that. And Chris Travis is just like fucking. Chris Travis is just like really raw. And Night Lavelle is like a very systematic writer, and you can hear in like when Chris Travis, like all of Chris Travis's songs that are like his top songs, when you listen to it in the music store, you're like that sounds like Night Lavelle. You like look at it, you're like, yeah, that's Night Lavelle. I actually do. I kind of like riff raff. I do kind of like riff raff, but it's just extreme, man. It's almost a little bit too much. But I do kind of like them, in a way. LA582 says his main goal is to blow up. I would recommend an S-Vest. Pink Python. I don't know what he is. I'm not like super big into rap, right? Because of the destructive element of society. Like most of the rappers that are rapping are like they're ineffective at bucking the system. I don't like that. I like music that challenges the system. And I feel like rap has completely lost that ability. I think they had it kind of sort of in the 80s. It was almost like they were on the launch pad and were almost there, and then they just completely lost it and they've never been able to get back. And now it's like it's cool from a personal endeavor kind of, tragedy situation where it's like they're searching for this materialistic gain that they're never gonna they're never gonna get it, and they're never gonna understand why they're not gonna get it and why it's not gonna fulfill them. Yeah, 90s rap was kind of like that. Like the best rap are people that rap that are like proper composers and that have no delusion about materialism or getting famous. That's the best rap. Leroy Jenkins. Leroy Jenkins has to do with the MIDI keyboard, right? ICP, bro. ICP. Oh shit. I gotta turn on my AC now. This is getting a shiver. Gigi Allen. I'm not really into Gigi Allen. Pretty much at all. Now I've seen like, you know, I mean Gigi Allen has heyday. You know what I do like? It's not the same as Gigi Allen at all. I like Swans a lot. But it's not really something that Swans are something where like it's more of like a witnessing thing. Like I listen to it and like, you know, I'll listen to some albums and then you know, and then I'm done with that. But it's cool because it's so different. It's just very different. Gigi, I'm not into the exhibition shock stuff, like just the ego show off stuff. It's almost the same thing as rap for me. It's just in a kind of a hidden way. That's why I like Swans. I feel like is a more direct critique of the injustice of humanity than something like Gigi Allen or something. Gigi Allen is just very degenerate in a lot of ways. Not really into Two Live Crew. Money absolutely does ruin it. That's the problem. That's the problem with rap. Is money. Thoughts on Iran explosion? Don't even know about it. I'll tell you my thoughts on Iran. It's gonna get fucking taken the fuck out because that's the plan and it has been for a long time. There's basically no avoiding it. I'll tell you what else. Iran knows that. If you don't know this, Iran has subversive elements within the state structure, very similar to the United States, just not as saturated. So basically what's happening right now in the Muslim world, if you didn't know this, you have the Al-Aqsa Mosque is in Jerusalem. The Al-Aqsa Mosque is on top of the Dome of the Rock. The occupiers of Israel that are Jews that are occupying Israel believe that the Third Temple is the site of it is on the Third Temple Mount. The truth is that in Scripture, the only person that can identify the location of the Third Temple is the Mashiach, who's not identified yet. And so people trying to make the third temple site be the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Dome of the Rock, they're doing it on their own accord, and they're basically just kind of using religion and tradition of what people generally accept to co-opt and say like, yeah, you guys want a third temple here, right? And it's fucking not gonna work out. Now when the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the reason that the Al-Aqsa Mosque was built on top of the Dome of the Rock was as a canary. And so when the Al-Aqsa Mosque falls, it's actually going to trigger a raid on Israel by the Muslim world. And you're probably going to get, I would guess that Israel is aware of this. The people that are in Israel are aware of this. Militarily, I'm saying, like I'm talking about spooks and military and shit. And they really want to get the Al-Aqsa Mosque off there so they can just throw up a fucking third temple without a Mashiach. And they really want to do that. And so you know, when they get to that point, they already know that there's going to be a Muslim response, and so they're you know, they really want the rest of the world to go kill Iran and shit like that, so that, you know, like biblical the biblical boundary of Israel is the Euphrates to the Nile, right? But it doesn't really go into Iran. The reason they want to get Iran is because of two things. Number one is because it has been arbitrarily and unjustly identified as Amalek by rabbis, by certain rabbis that have chosen to do that. They're not authorized to do that. They're doing it on their own fucking accord, just like they did Germany. So, if you don't know this, before in the late 1800s, the chief rabbi of Ashkenazim identified Germany as Amalek, which is very extremely irresponsible, and that is the reason that is the ultimate reason that Germany got shit on and fucking wiped out, is because some guy put out basically he basically put out like a rumor that Germany was Amalek, and it like spread like wildfire in informal discourse, and and the fucking, like, after the 1800s, that's when now what it really was is like a co-optation of the people that are there in Israel right now, predating on Jews and ploying on their you know, basically like abusing their understanding of the Tanakh and shit, and giving fucking insight that they shouldn't be giving because it's wrong. And they said that, and it led to the chain of events to fucking destroy Germany. And then they're doing this. They did the same. They're doing the same thing. It's less formal than the German situation, but they're basically just. It's almost like the war on terror or something. You know, how it's like, well, we knocked out this enemy. Okay, now these people are terrorists. You know, it's almost the same thing as that. They just rolled the ball over to Iran, and so Iran has been like online, and that's the source, and being the Persians historically, and that's the source of the modern, you know, non-stop game to try to get any fucking country that will to fucking take out Iran so that they don't have to deal with them. I'm not talking about rap anymore. Fuck off. I would guess that Israel is aware of they're aware, they're trying to work out a situation right now where they can pull down the Al-Aqsa Mosque and have I think ideally they would like all of the threat nations taken care of and pacified before they do that, so that any organic response from just individual males that take up the response call to be as minimized as possible. Man, okay. It looks like we're about done with the stream here. All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye bye.